Hello, it's Dan from Bee Nourished Byron Bay. Hope everyone's going well. Happy Easter. And we are streaming today and we're showing you, we're doing a 3-day Easter retreat special for you, including simple recipes, tips and tricks in the kitchen, having a bit of fun in the kitchen as well with your kids and family. It's all about engaging everyone at this time while we're stuck here in isolation. And Lisa Parks, we at home as well. She'll be showing you how to do different types of exercises as well as engaging you in movement. So starting off with, it's Easter, of course, so we're going to start with some hot cross buns. I'm sure we all like those, and they seem to be in the news at the moment. So what I've got is some yeast. So I'm activating some dried yeast, which means you can buy your yeast dried from the supermarket. And what I'm doing to activate it, I'm adding a bit of lukewarm water, like blood temperature water. So I've just basically put in my yeast and added 2 tablespoons of water to make a little slurry. And we're looking for little bubbles in that, so that will help to activate it. I've got 500 grams of plain flour, and that is just, I've just used organic flour, but any flour is fine. And I've sipped that flour ready to go. I've got some sea salt, and you can use table salt. So we're using a pinch of sea salt in that to help flavour it, to help activate the yeast also. I've got coconut milk, so I added in 300 mils of coconut milk. And I brought that up to the boil. So I've just put that on the stove, brought that up to the boil, like so. Okay. While I'm doing that, while my yeast is activating, I'm going to add in my flour, my yeast mixture in, adding in some mixed spice or allspice. So 2 teaspoons of allspice. Okay, so let's put 2 teaspoons because that was a heap spoon, and 2 teaspoons of ground cinnamon as well. So you want that spice in it to light it up as well. Now, the orange, the zest, we tend to throw that away, but it's really, really handy. It's really good for antioxidants as well. So I'm just going to peel the outside of that. So 2 oranges peeled, like so. And then we're going to slice that up, okay? Nice and simple, using any peeler or a little zester, and then slicing that up. Get our vitamin C content in there as well. You're going to boost our immunity. We're looking at ways to have fun and also boost our immunity. So I'm just going to add that to the other one. So I've got 2 oranges zested in there as well. Mixing in now my milk. Okay, the milk's come up to the boil, dropping it to a simmer. Now, one thing we do need to be careful of is that the milk is not too hot when you add in the yeast as well, because if the yeast is too hot, it's going to deactivate the yeast. So I'm just going to leave that there for a moment while I add some orange marmalade as well. One of my favourites, adding in 2 tablespoons as well into that. That way, I don't need to use that up now. Don't want to waste any. That way I don't need to add any extra sugar into that as well. And giving that a good mix around. So we're making a little mix in our dough. Once that's cooled down, giving it a minute or 2, I'm going to add that in to the mixture, stirring in, making a well. So making a dough and making a well. Now, when you are making doughs, if it's too wet, you can always add a bit more flour. If it's too dry, you can add a bit more liquid as well. So working with the temperature as well when you're making it, mixing it all in. I find it's easy to mix it in a bowl first, bring it together. It's got a nice colour already. I can smell the cinnamon. Oh, I'm getting excited already. And we get the kids to get in and make this as well. Get their hands dirty, and they're more likely to eat it, more likely to enjoy it as well, having fun. You can smell the orange. The dough's kind of come together like a ball. At that stage, make sure you've got some extra flour handy, and we're going to knead that dough out. Now, it's slightly a bit wet, so I'm going to add that extra flour. getting it off the spoons. If you get the mixture on your hands, just put some on your hands as well. Helps to get the mixture off. And it shouldn't stick to your hands. You should be able to pick it up without sticking to your hands. Once you're at that stage, then you can flour your bench like so and give it what we call a knead. What the knead does is to produce elasticin. It's going to help it to expand and grow. And we're just stretching that dough. Again, if it started sticking to my hands like that, a bit of flour on the hands, a bit of flour on the bench. It's nice and moist. And it's kind of bouncing. It's really rolling. So when my kids are doing it with my kids, I just break that up into little portions and all the kids can have a little knead as well. Now, if you want to do that by machine, you can do that in a machine as well, in a mixer with a kneading hook. But I enjoy it. I find this very therapeutic. And what we're looking for is when it starts to bounce back. So just a little bit more. So that's it. That's my exercise for the morning. Done. No, I've still got Lisa's activities to do. Not out that easy. Okay, stretching that and it's starting to bounce back faster. I'm really happy with this dough. It smells really nice. It's nice and light and soft. And you can use different flours if you like. You can do this with gluten-free if you want. You might just need to add something like xanthium gum into it to help stretch it a little bit more. Or buckwheat, quinoa flour, different flour. So whatever flour you got on hand, that's okay too. Just a plain flour. It's starting to really come together now. Just the final knead. So how long would you knead it for? Anywhere between 2 minutes to 5 minutes, depending on how much you're pushing it. And then at that stage, a little more. I'm going to put it in the bowl. I'm going to allow that to rest. So that resting time, it should prove, and I'll just cover that with a clean tea towel, somewhere where it's maybe warm, where the oven's on, but not on top of the stove. And I'll come back and look at that in about 20 minutes to 25 minutes as well. Okay. Next stage, which I'll show you, I'll be rolling it out. Wow, look at this hot cross bun dough mixture. It has proven it's doubled in size. It is looking epic. I'm going to just knock that back. Good fun one for the kids as well. Make sure they've got clean hands. And that's just going to knock back the gluten, and then we can help that we're going to prove that again. I'm going to add in about 4 tablespoons of sultanas as well into that mixture, and then we're ready to mix that in. These already smell so good, I can't even imagine. The neighbours probably will want to come over. I have to say, sorry guys. Okay, mixing that in. Now, I've always have a bit of extra flour on hand, and what that's for is to put it on the bench and help to knead it. So you can make them as big as you want. I'm doing mine about 120 grams roughly. Okay, and just mixing them together, shaping them, and I'll get a tray ready to go as well. Put that onto the tray, and I'll show you that little hot crust to go on at the end. So again, use the flour, or if you like, you can just mix it. So I'm just rolling it around like a little ball in my hands. If you want a little challenge, you can try 2 at once. And again, if it's sticking, that's where the flour is really good. Your kids at home, see, let me know if you can do this one. So 2 at once, test your motor skills. So as bakers, we don't have all that time sometimes. We might have to knock out, oh geez, they might be doing 500 a day, imagine that, or more. So, but they might also have equipment to do it as well. But you can do a lot, that kind of helps, get that nice little shape. So the dough is really elastic and it's moving around a lot, which is awesome. That's what I'm after. The sultanas are just going to add to that goodness, as the orange peel will as well. Mixing.
You might even be working up a bit of a sweat. We are in the Northern Rivers here, so it is pretty warm still for Easter. Okay, and again. So that was based on 500 grams flour mix. So you could always double it depending on how many family members you have for Easter. I probably would double it, and then it'd freeze some down as well if they make it out the Easter weekend anyway. No preservatives, simple ingredients, and fun for all. So we're getting around 11 to 12. And rolling that last one. Jamie Oliver say that's pucker. And cleaning those hands. The last little step. Got 70 grams of flour, and I'm going to add a tablespoon of just warm water to that. Make a little dough. Mixing that. Now there are a few ways to do it. One with a piping bag. Just make sure you floured your hands. I'm going for the real rustic kind of look. Rolling it out, little cigar. I might need to actually make some more than that, but that's okay. Get the idea. Now you have a little competition who can make the longest one without it breaking. Remember as kids, Easter was about trying to get that minty wrapper, or the fantails if you remember those, and trying to get it as long as he could. And I could never get it as long as my brother. I don't know, had some superior tricks in doing that. So at that stage, rolling it out, I've just picked one up and I'm just gonna cross that over. If you need to stick it, you can just use a little bit of water down. She's looking pretty hot and cross. To finish that off, you might just put a little bit of the spice on top, and presto. And just finishing off that last hot cross bun, I'm going to give that a light spray of oil. Just to give it a nice shine. And when they come out of the oven, you can use a little bit of coconut oil or something like Nutlex, just to give it a bit of a shine. They'll go in the oven at 220 degrees for about 15, 18 minutes, and presto. Just checking these hot cross buns. Great. Coming out, checking the bottoms of them, they're nice and brown. Tapping them, they're not hollow. And just finish them off with some coconut oil, some oil. I can smell the goodness, the fire spice, the cinnamon, the orange. What I'm going to do, I'm just going to put these back in just for a minute or two with that glaze on it. This one's just a bit of Nutlex. Melt it down in the microwave for like 10-15 seconds until it melts. You can see they've got that nice shine on them now. You don't even need to go out to get them. All you need is a few simple ingredients. And the kids, we're talking about these ones for years. Thanks for joining us here at Bee Nourished Byron Bay. Have a great Easter, everyone. Hope you're well. Stay safe, stay home, and be nourished.